Believe it or not, you've been watching professional freestyles completely wrong this entire time. You see, every time you watch your favorite rapper effortlessly spit bars for 10 minutes straight without hesitation, you assume they're creating everything from pure spontaneous genius, and that assumption is destroying your confidence and keeping you stuck in beginner-level freestyling forever. In other words, the truth about how professionals actually operate would shock you. They're following specific patterns that they've practiced thousands of times but will never openly discuss. But these aren't the obvious techniques that YouTube tutorials teach you about finding rhymes or staying on beat. These are the psychological frameworks that separate amateur stuttering from professional dominance. The invisible systems that make greatness look effortless. And once you understand these patterns, your freestyle game transforms from random word association into controlled artistry that commands respect. Therefore, in today's episode of How to Rap, we expose the hidden freestyle pattern every professional rapper uses but never admits. Now, before we begin, if you'd like more personalized step-by-step training that will help you master the entire art of freestyle rap in 2 weeks or less, be sure to pick up our best-selling course, Freestyle Fortnite, which is specifically designed to have you be a GOAT-tier freestyler in just 14 days or even less than that. To get it, visit the first link in the video description. With that said, let's begin with lesson number 1 on the hidden freestyle pattern every professional rapper uses. You've been lied to about how freestyle rap actually works. Every professional freestyler you admire keeps a dirty little secret locked away in their mental vault. They're not creating everything from scratch when they go off the top. Instead, they're pulling from a preloaded arsenal of rhyme schemes they've memorized specifically for spontaneous moments. Think about it like this. When you watch your favorite rapper absolutely demolish a radio freestyle, spitting bar after bar without hesitation, you're not witnessing pure improvisation. You're watching someone who spent countless hours building what I call their rhyme bank, a collection of go-to word combinations they can access instantly. Here's the truth that'll change how you approach freestyling forever. Memorizing chains of multi-syllable rhymes isn't cheating at all. It's exactly what separates you from the professionals who make this look effortless. Take the phrase rap flow, for example. As a prepared freestyler, you should already know it rhymes with Stacto, Astro, Castro, and Hasbro. You need to practice these combinations so many times that pulling them out feels as natural as breathing. The real artistry comes in how you connect these pre-memorized rhyme schemes with fresh content in the moment. Here's where you're probably messing up completely. You think freestyling means generating every single word spontaneously, which creates unnecessary pressure and leads to those painful moments of stuttering and brain freeze. Meanwhile, professionals understand that having these rhyme patterns ready removes the burden of thinking about rhymes entirely. Now your brain power goes toward making those memorized patterns fit whatever situation you're in. Consider how this should work in your practice. You walk into a cypher knowing you'll probably mention your hometown, your crew, maybe some current events. So you've already mapped out rhyme schemes for your city name, your homies' nicknames, and whatever's trending that week. When the beat drops, you're not scrambling for rhymes. You're just deciding which preloaded ammunition to fire first. This explains why certain rappers seem to have endless bars ready to go. They're not superhuman, they've just done their homework, building extensive libraries of rhyme patterns for common topics they know they'll touch on. The beauty of this system is that it actually enhances your creativity rather than limiting it. When you're not stressed about finding rhymes, you can focus on storytelling, wordplay, and actually connecting with your audience. You can take risks with your content because the technical foundation is already solid. Most importantly, this approach makes your freestyling sustainable. You can rap for 20 minutes straight when you're drawing from a deep well of prepared patterns rather than trying to generate everything fresh. Start collecting 10, 20, even 30 different word combinations for terms you use regularly. It's not about memorizing entire verses, that would be whack. It's about having the building blocks ready so you can construct something original in real time, but having all these rhymes ready means nothing if you freeze up when it's time to use them. The second pattern you need to master but nobody talks about is what I call the strategic stall, those filler words and phrases that buy precious thinking time. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those moments when you say, yo, check it, or listen, or yeah, while your brain races to catch up with your mouth. Early in my freestyle journey, my go-to filler was some like shit, completely amateur hour. My friend would constantly drop next thing you know into his flows, usually ending with something ridiculous about sexual acts just to fill space. These verbal placeholders serve a crucial purpose that goes way beyond just killing time. They maintain the rhythm and flow while your mind searches for the next bar. Without them, you'd have dead air, the absolute worst thing that can happen in your freestyle. But here's what separates you as a beginner from the pros in this department. You're probably using your filler words as obvious crutches, repeating them so frequently it becomes painful to listen to. Professionals have evolved their filler game into something almost undetectable. They've developed entire arsenals of transition phrases that sound intentional rather than desperate. Instead of just or yeah, you should develop phrases like, let me paint this picture, or real talk though, or matter fact. These serve the same time-buying function but sound like deliberate stylistic choices rather than panic moves. The key is variety and intention. You might use check it out once, then switch to let me tell you something the next time you need a breather. You need to constantly rotate your stall tactics so nothing becomes repetitive enough to expose the pattern. Some rappers have turned this into an art form entirely. They'll use their city name, their cruise tag, or even just sounds that fit the beat's rhythm as strategic pauses. East side or real shit, or even just ad-libs become part of your freestyle vocabulary, giving you micro moments to plan your next attack. What makes this pattern truly powerful is how it creates space for the spontaneous magic to happen. Those 2 or 3 seconds you buy with a well-placed filler phrase might be exactly what you need to connect an incredible rhyme or flip the entire narrative of your freestyle. Now here's our advice. Notice your filler words first, then work on diversifying them. Instead, build a collection of different stalls you can rotate through. Your goal isn't to freestyle without any pauses or transitions. Your goal is to make those transitions feel so natural that nobody realizes you're buying time. When you do this right, these strategic stalls become part of your style rather than evidence of your struggle. Think of them as punctuation in your verbal essay, necessary breaks that actually enhance the overall flow rather than disrupting it. Master this and you'll have the breathing room to implement the most sophisticated pattern of all. The third and most sophisticated pattern you need to master is following an invisible song structure that makes your off-the-dome raps feel like complete compositions. This is the pattern that truly separates you from everyone else still struggling. I discovered this during my weekly performances in Budapest with a live band where I learned to freestyle entire song structures, including verses, choruses, and bridges. The audience thought they were witnessing pure spontaneous genius. In reality, I was following a blueprint I'd internalized through countless practice sessions. Here's how this pattern needs to work in your practice. After you spit 16 to 20 bars, you should naturally transition into something that resembles a chorus. You'll find a catchy phrase or concept from your verse and repeat it, maybe simplifying the flow to make it more memorable. This creates the illusion that you've crafted an actual song rather than just rambling over a beat. The magic happens because you're not trying to create a specific chorus ahead of time. You're simply training yourself to recognize when it's time to switch gears and grab whatever memorable element emerged from your freestyle. Maybe you said something about your hometown that hit particularly hard. Boom, that becomes your hook for the next 8 bars. What makes this pattern even more powerful is how it incorporates storytelling structures. You shouldn't just spit random bars when you freestyle. You need to practice telling complete narratives off the top. Stories about your worst teacher, your annoying boss, that one cousin who always starts drama at family gatherings. These aren't random choices either. You should rehearse the general arc of these stories enough times that you can adapt them to any beat, any situation. The specific details change based on the moment, but the narrative structure remains consistent. This storytelling practice serves multiple purposes for you. First, it gives your freestyle direction and purpose, preventing that aimless feeling that plagues amateur attempts. Second, it provides natural transition points. When one story ends, you can seamlessly flow into another or circle back to your course concept. Most importantly, it creates emotional connection with your audience. People remember stories way more than they remember clever wordplay. When you combine pre-memorized rhyme schemes with strategic stall tactics and then wrap it all in a familiar song structure, you create something that transcends typical freestyle rap. Your audience experiences what feels like a professionally crafted song that materialized out of thin air. They leave thinking they witnessed something supernatural. The truth is more practical but no less impressive. You've simply internalized patterns that guide your spontaneous creation. You're not breaking the rules of freestyling, you're using advanced preparation techniques that enhance rather than replace genuine improvisation. Every element remains spontaneous in the moment. The patterns just provide a framework that makes your spontaneity more effective, more engaging, and more sustainable over long freestyle sessions. That's the ultimate secret you need to understand. Structure doesn't kill creativity, it amplifies it. With that all said, be sure to visit the video description below to master the art of freestyle rap in 2 weeks or less, and hopefully you got some value out of this episode. Thanks for joining us for another one, and peace.